It's Tuesday, September 23rd. In the headlines, Jamaica launches first agriculture investment guide with unveiling of deal book. In business news, Marathon Insurance Brokers expands. Regionally, strict measures are being put in place to prevent criminals from slipping into Barbados under the CSME. And in sports, Manchester, Cedric Titus and Glenmuir High remain unbeaten in Issa the Costa Cup. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Jamaica's agriculture sector holds strong potential and is demonstrating signs of growth, but lingering structural challenges continue to limit productivity and long-term development. That's according to Kilira Soot, senior agricultural specialist at the World Bank, who is speaking at the opening of the Jamaica Agribusiness Investment Forum and Expo in Montego Bay recently. Ms. Soot acknowledged the sector's promise, but emphasized that significant hurdles remain.
Climate and land resources allow for a wide range of high-value crops. There is significant untapped land available for expansion, but we know that productivity remains low. Smallholder farmers face persistent barriers, limited access to finance, technology and markets, weak compliance with food safety standards, and high vulnerability to weather and disease. To unlock this potential, we must address these constraints head-on.
Her comments come as official data shows mixed performance in the agriculture sector. In 2023, Jamaica produced 779,254 tons of domestic crops, the second highest output on record, though down from 846,508 tons in 2022. More recently, the sector recorded a 13.7% increase in output between April and June 2025 compared to the previous quarter, including an 11.1% increase in output per hectare. Ms. Soot notes the World Bank's continued support in Jamaica's efforts to improve market access for rural enterprises and small holdings.
Build resilience across the value chain, strengthen linkages between agriculture and tourism, promote innovation and digitalization in agribusiness, and expand opportunities for women and youth in the sector.
She also shared various programs implemented by World Bank in other countries that can prove useful to Jamaica. For example,
one of them that I think would be really important to think about is blended finance and matching grants. So for example, in Guinea, the World Bank and IFC jointly supported a matching grant facility under a commercial agricultural development program, which really provided co-financing for competitively selected agribusiness initiatives, really being able to combine public funds with private investment to support those SMEs in strategic value chains, so poultry, for example, different types of grains. And I think this is the type of thing that Jamaica could really replicate to think about catalyzing investments in high potential sectors.
Jamaica's agriculture sector has taken a major step forward with the launch of its first agriculture deal book, giving investors a clear guide to opportunities in farming and agro-processing. The publication was unveiled during the inaugural Jamaica Agribusiness Investment Forum at the Montego Bay Convention Center in St. James. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green hailed the deal book as a game changer, noting that it will significantly boost efforts to attract both local and international capital into the sector.
So the deal book will show you some of those opportunities, and I could go through so many. You know, we have a specific program around small ruminants and our goats, and remember, as much as I speak about the potential of exports, and I'll say a little bit more about that, remember we have a big market right here. We already import about 70% of what we consume as goat meat. It's actually not, it's mutton, sheep. $1 billion industry in Jamaica. And that's why the government has been catalyzing the investment in our goat sector.
Prepared by the Agri-Invest Corporation with assistance from the World Bank and other international partners, the Deal Book outlines investment-ready opportunities across crops, livestock, fisheries, and agro-processing. It includes details on available lands, potential returns, and support services. Everything an investor would need to get started. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green says several projects are already ripe for investment, including the Southern Plains Agro Park in St. Catherine and Clarendon, which has been boosted by the addition of a new irrigation pond.
And don't sleep on it, because we launched Parnassus earlier this year, Mr. Scully, and Parnassus is now completely gone. 700 acres have been all taken by investors doing great things.
The minister says the Deal Book is just the beginning, as Jamaica looks to boost food security, create jobs, and modernize farming for the future. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says land titling and housing will be major priorities for his administration's third term. He notes that the government will place particular emphasis on addressing informal settlements, where an estimated 700,000 Jamaicans out of a population of 2.7 million currently live. Dr. Holness made the commitment in his inaugural address to Parliament following the swearing-in of elected members of Parliament last week. Dr. Holness is describing land titling as a critical step toward economic empowerment and community stability.
Land titling is not simply about paperwork. It is about reducing urban blight, enabling community upgrading, and ensuring that every new home rests on firm ground, not on sand.
The Prime Minister stressed that housing and land titling are not only economic priorities, but also integral to the government's crime prevention strategy, noting a direct link between informal settlements and criminal activity.
Formalization through land titling strengthens the rule of law at the community level, giving residents a stake in order and reducing the likelihood of their community being used as a safe haven for gangs. In this way, housing and land titling are not just economic policies, they are violence reduction strategies.
Dr. Holness also outlined the government's ambitious housing program.
Already, 70,000 houses are in train for delivery over the next 3 to 5 years, and we will place an additional 60,000 new houses on top of that. This is the most ambitious housing program in Jamaica's history.
Health authorities are urging the public to remain vigilant about rabies, a deadly virus spread primarily through the saliva of infected animals, most often via bites. In many developing countries, stray dogs pose the greatest risk of transmitting the disease to humans. Experts warn that once symptoms appear, rabies is almost always fatal. They stress that anyone who may have been exposed should seek immediate medical attention and begin a course of vaccination to prevent infection. According to the World Health Organization, rabies remains a serious but preventable public health threat.
Infections that can result from dog bites. Sadly, dog bites are quite common, especially for children, and they pose serious health risks. Besides the injury itself, there is the potential for infection with rabies, which is a deadly but preventable disease. So, if a child is bitten or scratched, it is important to know how to respond quickly and effectively. The first and most important thing is giving proper wound care to help prevent infection. Step 1 is to clean any wounds thoroughly. Wash all the bites with plenty of soap and clean running water. It should take at least 15 minutes. The aim is to flush out as much saliva, dirt, and bacteria as possible, but avoid scrubbing too hard, as that can cause further damage. Step 2. After washing, apply antiseptic solution, like iodine or alcohol, to the wounds. That will help kill any remaining germs, but do not close the wound unless absolutely necessary. That can trap germs and increase the risk of infection. Step 3. Immediately after washing the wound, get the child to a clinic or hospital for further review and treatment. Step 4. Make sure the rest of the community is protected. Ensure the dog is removed to a safe place and report the incident to animal health authorities. Acting immediately when a child is bitten is really important. Rabies is almost always fatal once symptoms appear, but it's 100% preventable with quick medical treatment. By following these simple guidelines, we can all help prevent infections, save lives, and keep our communities safe. Thank you for watching.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Welcome to today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, here to bring you the stories shaping the financial world and guiding your journey to smarter business decisions. Let's dive into the top headlines. CEO of Marathon Insurance Brokers, LeVar Smith, says the company's new branch in Santa Cruz, St. Elizabeth, reflects confidence in the parish's resilience after Hurricane Beryl and its growing importance as a commercial hub. Marathon already operates in Kingston, Montego Bay, and Portmore, and plans to expand to Mandeville, Maypen, Portland, and Ocho Rios. Jamaica Chamber of Commerce Director Winsome Callum adds that the Santa Cruz opening shows confidence in that town's future. The Ministry of Finance and Planning has reported revenues of 375.2 billion Jamaican dollars for the period April to July. That's 7.7 billion, 2% more than projected. Tax collection stood at 286 billion, nearly 6 billion more than expected. For the trading period ending September 22, 2025, these were the most actively traded stocks. Beverage distributor Jamaican Teas Limited shares with 2,458,126 units traded, representing 12.44% of market sales volume. Toll road operator Trans-Jamaica Highway Limited, Jamaican dollar shares with 2,357,444 units traded, representing 11.93% of market sales volume. Hardware distribution firm Fosterage Company Limited with 2,125,999 units traded, representing 10.76% of market sales volume. We now shift our focus to the Forex market rate set by the Bank of Jamaica. On September 22, 2025, the Bank of Jamaica reported US $52.75 million purchased and US $57.99 million sold by Forex traders. Forex traders earned $1.79 per dollar, selling the US at $160.79 and buying the US at $159. The Canadian dollar netted Forex traders 75 cents per transaction, with selling at $116.72 and buying at $115.97. The British pound yielded Forex traders $2.42 in profits, with selling at $215.39 and buying at $212.97. For the credit report tip of the day, you don't need piles of money to start building wealth. You need smart strategies and the right use of credit. Limited resources don't have to hold you back. Here's how to turn credit into your growth engine. Bundle loans to free up cash flow. Consolidate strategically to lower costs and boost flexibility. Rebuild and maintain credit. Remember, every point of improvement on your credit score opens new doors to financial opportunities. Take action today. Review your credit report, identify areas to improve, and explore how you can use credit to fund growth. Wealth isn't about waiting, it's about decisive action and smart moves. When you are building something from nothing and you're moving from financial recovery to beyond financial resilience, watching asset prices soar and feeling like you've fallen behind your peers can be overwhelming, especially as a professional woman over 45. Maybe you didn't buy that property early, or investments didn't go as planned. It's easy to feel stuck. Here's the truth. It's not too late. Step 1, get clarity. Know exactly where you stand financially, your debts, your income, and realistic opportunities. Step 2, focus on cash flow. If asset prices are out of reach, start with income-generating options, dividend stocks, rental properties, or a business venture. Step 3, build your team. Financial coaches, advisors, and tax strategists can help you make smarter moves faster. And step 4, take action. Break goals into achievable steps. Momentum grows with small wins, not hesitation. Your life experience, professional skills, and resilience are powerful assets you already own. And that wraps up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams, reminding you that every financial decision is a step toward your future. Until next time, stay focused, stay informed, and keep striving for success. See you soon.
In regional news, strict measures are being put in place to prevent criminals from slipping into Barbados when the CARICOM free movement regime takes effect next Wednesday. Home Affairs and Information Minister Wilfred Abrams is assuring Barbadians that individuals with criminal records will be flagged before arrival. CBC News' Anesta Henry has that story.
Barbadians who are fearful criminals will rush to the island when Barbados joins 3 other CARICOM states to implement free movement of their nationals from October 1st have nothing to worry about. This assurance is coming from Minister of Home Affairs and Information Wilfred Abrams. He says part of this managed migration captured in the draft immigration legislation is making it easier for desired people to call Barbados their home. But Minister Abrams says criminals are usually stopped and sent back on the next flight to where they came from.
If you are a known drug dealer in your country and you come here, you'll be stopped at the border and said, you are not a permitted person, go back. If you do not have those strikes against you, if you are not subject to deportation order, you're not flagged as a person who's prohibited, if you got a conviction, if they suspect you're involved in narcotics trafficking, if they suspect that you're involved in insurgent activities, whatnot, if you're on a watch list, right? Once you're not one, then people, then come and work, come and stay, come and enjoy yourself, go and come again.
And Minister Abrams is also issuing the reminder that only Barbadians cannot be denied entry.
The only body who has a right as of right to come into Barbados is a citizen of Barbados. That's the only person. Everybody else is subject to permission from the country. So even the persons who are coming in on the free movement, that's St. Vincent, Belize, Dominica, right? And Barbados is the fourth country. Yes, you can come if you are an acceptable person.
Those who will be allowed to enter Barbados under this new arrangement will have a right to live and operate in Barbados as a Bajan would. They will also be allowed to bring their families once they too are acceptable individuals.
We have a reciprocal arrangement. If a Bajan decides to pick up and go to Dominica, These same courtesies will extend to the Bajan. If, however, you breach our laws while you're here, you'll be deported. And you can't come back until that deportation order is lifted.
According to the CARICOM Secretariat, representatives from Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines met on Thursday, September 18, 2025, to further coordinate, update, and discuss steps towards full free movement come October 1st, 2025. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
It's a high-level mission with a packed agenda. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar will address the United Nations General Assembly on Friday, outlining Trinidad and Tobago's position on climate change, economic development, and global partnerships. Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Barry Padarath, says the delegation will also pursue new investment opportunities in the Middle East and expand bilateral ties with several countries. Sunil Lala has more in this report.
It's a high-level mission with a packed agenda. Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Barry Padarath, says government is heading to the United Nations General Assembly with a clear focus. Speaking at 103.1 FM's Diwali Ka Amrit on Monday, he said climate change, economic development and global partnerships are high on the agenda.
Yes, it is a very packed agenda. The Honourable Prime Minister will speak and address the United Nations General Assembly on Friday. She is expected to address a number of topical issues ranging from the state of the economy in Trinidad and Tobago, some sustainable projects, but also climate change, the geopolitics that is playing out around the world, not only within our region, but the impact that that type of approach in terms of the geopolitics will play out.
Minister Padarath said government is also looking to expand its international reach, especially in regions like the Middle East.
There are other parts of the Middle East, in particular, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, etc., that we have not explored those opportunities for business growth and development of bringing investment into Trinidad and Tobago. So those are some of the areas that Mrs. Persad-Bissessar will identify in her bilateral discussions with those countries later in the week.
Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar is expected to address the UN General Assembly on September 26th. And Minister Padarath said he believes there is a lot of anticipation. However, he noted that government will be marketing Trinidad and Tobago at the Assembly.
I know she has scheduled several bilateral discussions with several nations as we seek to partner with them. There are other parts of the world that Trinidad and Tobago has not capitalized on their bilateral and multilateral arrangements. And further in the week, we will share with you some of the countries that Mrs. Persad-Bissessar will share the bilateral and multilateral discussions with, so that way we open up some of the other parts of the country that we seek to do business with.
Minister Padarath confirmed that he will also be in attendance.
A few ministers, together with the Honourable Prime Minister, Minister Sean Sobers has already left the shores of Trinidad and Tobago to attend the United Nations General Assembly. On Thursday, Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar, myself as Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Minister of Public Utilities, and Minister Saddam Hussein as Minister of Legal Affairs and Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture will be joining Minister Sobers as the Prime Minister leads that delegation into the United Nations General Assembly.
Sonolala, TTT News.
Further afield, imagine a single brush stroke that carries centuries of emotion, philosophy, and history. For over 2,000 years, Chinese calligraphy and painting have been more than art. They are the soul of Chinese culture, blending beauty with profound meaning to inspire generations. Our reporter Marlon Samuels provides insight on how these ancient traditions continue to thrive today.
Chinese calligraphy, originating over 2,000 years ago from inscriptions on oracle bones and bronze vessels, has evolved into a revered art form emphasizing the elegance of brush strokes and harmony of characters. It's a reflection of the artist's character and emotion, setting standards for grace and moral integrity.
Chinese calligraphy and traditional Chinese painting are two important art forms of this part of the world. Traditionally, people used to write with a brush and also paint with a brush and ink. They express themselves through different method of writing and painting, sometimes in a quick measure, sometimes in a slow manner, and they will put the whole spirit in the creation of their artwork. So it is a good way to appreciate the life, the landscape, the social relations.
Meanwhile, Chinese painting with a history spanning over a millennium features themes like landscapes, flowers, and animals. Techniques such as ink wash and brushwork blend poetry, calligraphy, and visual art into a unified aesthetic, embodying philosophical ideas like harmony, flow, and spiritual connection.
Chinese painting separate by technique is two different kinds. Depends the materials. We're using the roll paper or the ripe paper. The roll paper we call free brush work, which give the form, color at the same time. And then the ripe painting we call fine brushwork. Make outline first, and then coloring the painting little by little, make it different painting.
Today, these art forms flourish seamlessly, blending tradition with modern innovation, remaining vital expressions of China's cultural identity and historical continuity. Chinese calligraphy and painting continue to be powerful symbols of cultural pride and spiritual connection, inspiring future generations while preserving China's rich history and fostering innovation today. I am Marlon Samuels, reporting for the news on PBCJ.
In sports, Manchester High, Cedric Titus High, and Glenmuir High all maintained their unbeaten starts to the 2025 Issa da Costa Cup with impressive victories on Monday. Manchester High secured their sixth consecutive win, edging Bel-Air High 2-1 in Zone F. In Zone D, Cedric Titus High cruised to a 3-1 victory over Spot Valley High, with Teron Eccleston scoring twice to take his season tally to 11 goals. In Zone I, Glenmuir High completed a 4-1 win over Veer Technical, following the resumption of a match that had been halted on Saturday due to bad weather. Glenmuir had been leading 3-1 when play was suspended and added one more goal to move to 12 points, level with defending champions Garvey Massey. And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thank you so much for watching.